or she could.
We would be looking for something.
Let her speak to you. Yes, thank you.
This is serious.
This is
Just
so
making sure that
serious.
you're
I'm pretty sure I'm not
serious.
gonna
We are here.
Yeah, here I am.
All right, so my name is Bethany, and I want to teach you guys a little bit about cochlear implants today. This is my daughter Emily Gosson, and this is why I chose my topic, cochlear implants. She has bilateral implants. Her first implant she received when she was 2 years old. She just received her last one in April, and she's still learning to listen. So a little bit about the cochlear implant is basically it's not like a hearing aid. It's surgically put into your brain. Here, right here is the cochlear, and what they do is they put this as the internal part. So it comes in here, and then this one goes to the auditory nerve in your brain. And what it does is it actually sends electrical stimulation to the brain for you to hear. It's actually a sensation that they hear from it. It's not an actual hearing. The brain learns and is trained to listen and conceive it as hearing or perceive it as hearing. And that brings me to my next thing is auditory verbal therapy. The importance of auditory verbal therapy basically lie in whether your implant will be successful or not. I have had many auditory verbal therapists and speech therapists throughout my experiences with Emily, and this is one of the most important things. And there is a lack of auditory verbal training out there in the field as speech therapists, so it's really hard to find. I just recently had to leave one of my speech therapists and go to All Children's, who has an approach that I don't believe in, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So the benefits of a cochlear implant basically are that it can help a deaf person hear, and it can bring their hearing all the way into hearing normal limits if it's trained correctly. And they can perceive different sounds, like the loudness and the medium sounds. They can bring it all the way up into regular speech banana that you and I can hear now. They can use phones. They're able to talk on phones. My daughter can talk on the phone. She was away at camp last week, and we had a scary experience. And the lady, I was like, can I please speak with her? And she's like, well, how are we going to do that? And I'm like, well, she has a cochlear implant. So we can actually talk on the phone, which is nice, and she enjoys that, yeah. Talking to her when she, we had our little accident in camp was more comforting than talking to somebody else via text, because the other person was actually deaf, who I couldn't talk to besides in text. This is one of my favorite subjects here, the controversy on cochlear implants. According to some of the deaf websites that I looked at, the deaf people in the community don't believe that they are enabled, or they don't believe that they're underprivileged. They don't know what it is to hear. So basically they think that they're not at any under us. They think that they have sign language and that's how they communicate, and they think that that's pretty effective and that they can go throughout their whole life using just sign language. And they are not for cochlear implants. A lot of deaf people actually do not like cochlear implants, and they would probably not implant their own child because they don't think they need to be. I've gotten a lot of looks, stares. Just a few weeks ago we were at an event and the lady and I were talking, I was signing with her, she's signing. She's like, oh, I hate cochlear implants. I'm like, oh, well, that's my daughter and she has two. And she's like, oh, did it hurt? It may have for a few hours when she got it, but after that, she has a whole world of hearing. She enjoys music, she does a lot of other things. Basically, there was a deaf revolution as well that started in the 1970s, and they rebelled against teaching deaf people to hear or to listen and to use English. They don't think that they should be forced to do that. A lot of deaf adults believe that when they look back on their childhood, oh, my mom made me go to speech therapy and now I'm just fine. And of course they're signing this all. You know, I don't ever, you know, I don't need to hear. I have my hands, whatever, and I don't need that. I don't want to speak. You know, there's a lot of them that have great auditory skills. They can hear with their hearing aids, cochlear implants, and they have great voices, but at the same time, they refuse to do it because they are what they call big D deaf. They are really into the deaf culture thing, and that's pretty intense. And then the other one, the other most common controversy issue would be cochlear implants and using sign language. Again, where I said that I had to recently switch speech therapists, well, I just did that. The speech therapists that I have now agree with me. They think that signing and using, you know, an implant and talking is all encourageable, and it's great, but there are some out there that don't want you to sign. My daughter is going to be 10 soon, and I walked in this lady's office last Monday, and what she told me, stop signing. I was like, oh, really? Why is that? Oh, well, she won't get her auditory skills as we want her to get them because you're signing with her. And I'm like, did you watch her? Did you just watch her listen to you and repeat back sentences and answer your questions with her first one? I'm pretty sure that's considered a successful,
Yeah.
you know, that's pretty successful, and now you want me to stop signing. So I asked her, hey, what do you think when I'm out and about? And so Emily has to go all the way back. Let me start there. Emily has to go all the way back basically to listening to sounds. You know, right now you can go shh, and she says, she doesn't know. She doesn't hear any of it. So this lady said, I said, so when I go out with my daughter and I say, hey, there's a dog. And she's like, I heard something, but I don't know the words that are coming out of your mouth. She's like, I said, what would you do then? And she's like, oh, I would show her a picture. I'm like, okay, so how big would you like my bag to be?
Oh my
Because at
goodness.
this point, I have my hands. This is all I have. That's a dog. That's building a bridge. A lot of teachers in the community and some of the therapists that I have worked with that believe in total communication believe in using sign language and the cochlear implant in the first place together and merging it together, and they say that it builds a bridge. There's studies on both. Some people think it's good, some people think it's bad. Obviously, I'm pretty biased on my decision. But, you know, I think that instead of showing her a picture, tie it together, you
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
Tie it together. So that's all I have, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little speech.
Awesome.
And I hope you guys learned a little bit.